Hello, I am Sarah Millican and welcome to episode 42 of How to Be Champion Storytime. A couple of new things on this episode. I've got my hair in a bun, like up high, and I think it looks alright. Also, it pulls your face up. I mean, I'm 44, but I look 42. And I love these earrings and I never wear them, and I just went to put one in. One went in easy, always the case. The other one just grown over, ow, 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 ow. But you know when you just decide, I want them in. So I just forced my way through. So a little bit of pain, but you know, at least I know I'm alive. We are on episode 42 and we are in the section pre-stand-up, stand-up. I will crack on. Back then I was a bit lost. I think I was looking for something, but I didn't know what it was. I was working 6 days a week, killing every spare minute I could, shutting it all down, reading self-help books, and then one day during my lunch break at work, I booked myself on a bloody performance workshop. I have no idea why. It was for people who had written but never performed. Before then, I had written a film column for the free paper, a few short films, a few short plays, and I hadn't performed at all, save the previous examples. I had written but never performed, so I qualified. What if that ad had said, for those who've eaten meat but never killed a cow, or for those who've done frontsies but never up the arse? I could have been on an entirely different course, though not that second one, wink, tried it once, wasn't as nice as having a shit, didn't bother again. There was a gap between booking the course and doing the course, so I forgot all about it. I just got on with work and all the crying. I had days when I felt like I could do nothing. And I was sort of broken, my whole future, and indeed my whole future, H-O-L-E, gone. I had the what the fuck am I supposed to do now feeling that I'd only previously had when confronted with a massive running spider, or when I once trod in dog shit all over a friend's house and lied that it wasn't me. I'd go to work, but outside of the actual job I was barely functioning. I was convinced I would, at some point, run out of tears. I never did. The numbskulls controlling the tear ducts must have been knackered. I remember my sister once stroked my hair for 3 hours while I lay on her bed crying. But I had some of my best ever sleeps during that time. Crying is like having a wank in that regard. Some effort, a small amount of cleaning, relief-induced kip. Smashing. I also had days when I felt like I could do anything. I pretty much felt invincible. I'd never experienced this feeling before. I think most of us live our lives somewhere between the two, between can't do anything and can do everything. I called them my She-Ra days, inexplicably because I'm more Wonder Woman era. I'd wake up full of energy, ready for the day, awake, properly awake. If someone had said, you have to climb this mountain, I'd have asked for time to pop to Millets for the right socks and then given it a bloody good go. I signed up to do this course on a She-Ra day. The day came along and I was excited and nervous. It was a half-day workshop in Gateshead run by Kate Fox, the poet, stand-up and all-round brilliant woman, followed by a performance that evening at Caedmon Hall. Talk about being chucked in at the deep end. It was a very practical course, less about what you'd say, more about how you'd say it. We were encouraged to bring something we'd written, so mine was a monologue about the breakdown of my marriage. Cheery, hey? You have to remember that this wasn't stand-up. It was just a monologue. Just me trying a thing I'd never tried. And in my newfound freedom, the possibility of anything was sexy. I knew I had potential, but in what? Most of the others on the course were poets who wanted to become performance poets. We walked around, weaving in and out of each other, saying words out loud. The sort of thing I hated, but really needed to do. Kate had created a very safe space where no one would be anything other than supportive. Poets are, in my experience, a smashing bunch. Gentle, generous, interested. It was a great environment to be myself in, my new self. And we did a show that night, God knows how. To a lovely, receptive crowd, I read my monologue aloud. The paper I held shook with the aftershock of my crazy heartbeat. That's why if you see me do new material now, I read it from a notebook or index cards. Books and cardboard do not shake like paper does. Luckily I stopped there and didn't end up with a plank of wood or a brick with my notes scrawled on. I read the monologue and parts of it were brutal and parts, it turns out, were hilarious. I went into the ladies' loos after my set and jumped up and down in a cubicle. I'd done a thing I was terrified of, and it felt amazing. What was so terrifying about standing in front of a room full of people and telling them about your personal horror? The scariest thing in the world had already happened. I was at rock bottom. It turns out people laughing at something you've said feels like nothing else. And not your friends, but people who don't know who you are. Oh, sorry, people who don't know you, who have no obligation to laugh at you, who have paid to be entertained. I jumped in the loos. Then on the walk back to the metro, I rang my dad and simply said, I did it. And that is the end of episode 42. I do hope you enjoyed it and the pain of the earrings was worth it. Do it again, maybe keep them in just forever so that I never have to burst through skin again. I hope I made you laugh. I hope you have a good rest of the day. And stay in the house, wash your fucking hands, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello, it's Sarah Millican here. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with all of my latest videos. Don't forget to like, pop a comment below, and why not stick around to watch a few more? I'm sure those emails or those dishes can wait a bit longer.